Good evening, Philippines. Good morning, U.S. Hello, world. The big mabuhay around the world. And I hope everyone's ready for a little cup of Joe. In the U.S., we call it a cup of Joe. You know, you guys call it coffee. All right? Anyone have a great cup of coffee? Oh, really hits the spot right after a meal, right? So, just having my daily live, trying to build up my channel subscriptions and say hello to everyone out there. Hope everyone's doing great. The weather here in BGC Manila was great. It wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold. It was just right on the spot. It was pretty good. It was nice and clear and sunny. I don't think we've had a sunny day in about a month, especially since the unfortunate kind of volcanic eruption. But it was super weather today. Unfortunately, the pool was still closed, and I still haven't had time to inquire why they have the pool closed. I mean, I can't really decipher any real ash fall or something like that, or what would happen if you went in there and swam. I mean, I don't see what the big deal is, but I guess they must have their reasons. It's not like I'm itching to jump into the pool. It's just I'm kind of curious because when you're just wandering around and looking around and your window is over the pool, you're kind of like, hey, is anyone swimming? So I guess my kind of curiosity has gotten the cat here, and we're gonna have to go down there and go, hey, what's going on down there? Well, we got some people coming on the weekend, so hopefully they'll have the pool open or something open for them. And I feel bad for the kids too. The kids are here or after school, or the young ones, and they have a great resource here, and no one is really utilizing the pool. So I'm kind of like, they're using the basketball court, and I just feel bad for everyone that can't use the pool. But I sure hope that they get things straightened out pretty quick down there, and let everyone use the pool. I don't really understand why they wouldn't. I guess they think there's some type of health danger or something. I don't really quite get it. But anyway, yeah, another cup of Joe. Ah. So, just had dinner, and just kind of like a little digestion of little coffee there, kind of helping it out, going down smooth. And I'm just using kind of instant coffee. I don't really have a real coffee maker here yet. But like my father and my wife are real coffee aficionados. They like to make their coffee, grind their coffee, get special milk for their coffee. In the US, we have half and half, which is half cream and half milk. And I'm sure you can get cream and stuff here. But, one of the big things one of the big things here is that this, when you go to Asia, they're not, you lose your dairy. I got divorced from my dairy, dairy products, and if you're a non-Westerner, you don't know it's really part of our diet on a daily basis. Milk for breakfast, cheese, all kinds of dairy. It's part of the European culture and American culture. And when you come here, it's like everything gets shrunk down, and it's very expensive and hard to get. You do have the powdered milk, you do have cheese, but the cheese is super expensive. Not that it's really cheap in the US, but you can get a real big block of cheese, for like $8. I guess that would be like almost 1,000 pesos or something like that. So, but it's like, you go to the refrigerator. Can I have a piece of cheese? Damn it. There's no cheese. Damn it. It's not a big deal. Hey, go have a mango, go have something else. You just have to adjust. And you can get cheese if you really want to. I don't. I was, I have it in my head that I have like kind of save the cheese, save the cheese, save the cheese, save the cheese. And I put it in my refrigerator and I rationed the cheese. And I went there the other day and I was like, man, there's so much cheese. I got to have some. But you kind of get your head in this kind of fixated mode. But there's one thing the Philippines does have: great coffee. Great coffee, and we don't get too much, fresh coffee in the U.S. We have to import it from Brazil. But I know that the Philippines is growing its own coffee, and my prayers go out to all the coffee farmers south by the volcano. I know they may lose their crop, but it takes so many years to grow the coffee. And, I just hope they're able to recover some of that, or, it doesn't get wasted, or, because that's their livelihood. It takes years. The coffee crop could be ruined for many, many years. So that's kind of a bad thing. But we're hoping that, it comes back quickly and they can salvage at least part of their crop, and I also noticed in the news that the volcano specialists are basically saying they've had a lot of earthquakes and tremors, and they think there may be an earthquake at any time. So I hope, even everybody up in Manila and everyone south of Las Piñas and those areas, what I did today is I kind of looked. There's a thing on Google that says evacuation centers, and I clicked on it. Man, there are so many evacuation centers. Must be like 40 or 50 or something like that. And man, I just hope those people are okay. I know they're itching to go home, and they're sitting around, and I know that they're really wanting to go home and go back to kind of a more normal life than living in a school or evacuation center. But I hope that everything turns out okay, because the one thing that would be really, really a shame is if everyone got a false sense of security, like everyone felt like, hey, nothing's going to happen, and something does. So I really hope that I know that they put some new orders down, especially on the local mayors. They were very tough, that they're not allowing people back in daylight, or they have to give a reason why or whatever. So I really hope that a lot of people, I know they're itching to go home, but, we hope that, they don't go there and the volcano erupts and they get caught in the eruption with the ash. But we also pray that the volcano settles down. Hey, man, how you doing? How you doing, NBM? Did you have your cup of coffee lately? I'm so tired right now. I need something to keep me going. I got to keep this live cast going. So I got this cup of coffee there to keep me going and see what's happening with everybody. See you later. Ciao. Bonjour. You're practicing your languages? How about, what is the word for, I took German for so many years. What is the, I know Auf Wiedersehen is goodbye. What is German for hello? Hello. The German for hello is hallo. I don't remember, and I took like 2 years in college. I don't remember any of the Germans and the professors going, hello. I remember them saying, Auf Wiedersehen, but I don't remember hello. So what is that? I don't know what that is. Anna Young. What is that? Let's see. Ah. What is that, Portuguese? I don't know what that is. I can't find it. Oh, you're just joking. If you really want to screw somebody up, that's what you do. Make up false names. Hey, a shout out to Kyle Glenn channel out there. Shout out to you guys. That was really funny, NBN. That is a great prank. We'll call it the goodbye prank. Oh, that is really, really funny. Hi, Kyle. How you doing? We're just laughing here and having a cup of Joe. In the U.S., we go have a cup of Joe. Here you have a cup of coffee. Just having a little caffeine to keep me going here. I usually drink Coca-Cola, but I know a lot of people they like their coffee after dinner, so I thought I'd have a little bit. And my father, he became sort of a coffeeholic when my father was a pilot. No, I'm very let's see. Mahal ne mahal kita. That's my extent that I learned when I married my wife. Mahal ne mahal kita. And Salamat Po and Dito Dito. Very, very, very limited in my Tagalog. So, I have to learn some more phrases. I really do. Very, very limited in my Tagalog, but I'm sure I'll pick it up as time goes on. I really have to make more of an effort to do it. The Filipinos really spoil you here because everyone knows English. And so if you were like in another country where they didn't speak English, you'd be forced to learn it. But because, I've said this in my I don't know how many videos of my channel you've watched, the Philippines really doesn't get enough credit for how well the English is spoken here. In Europe, we talk about Germany, we talk about the Netherlands, but, Asia knows that the Philippines speaks the best English in this region of the world. And I would even say that, I think the Filipinos really speak English well. I mean, I know a lot of Filipinos, they feel sometimes embarrassed. They don't get everything correct or their accent isn't great. Hey, thank you, Kyle Glenn. Yeah, if you can subscribe, that would be great. That would be really great. We're trying to get to 200 and get to that magic 1,000. So we can start earning some money, but any help you could do would be great. God bless you. Thank you. But, I meet so many and I taught a lot of Filipinos too. And they want to speak English so well. And sometimes they're embarrassed. And, I met some Filipinos here and they're very shy around me because they don't want to be embarrassed. But let me tell you something. I am so impressed with the Filipinos speaking English. I'm so impressed by it, really. I mean, do you know any American that could come to Asia and speak any language? No. The Filipinos are speaking, 3-4 languages. They're speaking Tagalog, Visayan, they're speaking something else. Who knows? It's amazing to me. It really is. And so I really admire the Filipinos, how many languages they know. And hey, my hat is off to them. I really praise them for doing it, but I really appreciate the Filipinos. And, when they're so helpful and when you speak and they're just, hello, sir, can I help you? And they'll listen to you and be patient with you. And so actually, the Philippines is a great place to learn a new language because you can talk Taglish, really. And I'm afraid to say probably that's the closest I'm going to get to Tagalog is Taglish, where I can go back and forth. And there's Kyle, he's Filipino. And but I am really impressed, and I was a teacher for a very long time. And, the Filipinos really do impress me, when they came over to the U.S. I really do mean that. And, they're very, very good students. Most of the Filipino kids that I had that immigrated to the U.S., specifically Hawaii, they were very, very hardworking students. And in many cases, better than the American students that I had. I'm not lying. It's the truth. I'm not just trying to say that to make everyone feel great or whatever. It's the honest truth, because in the Philippines, you have to do well in school to succeed. And your parents and your relatives are always asking you, study, 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 do your work, do your work. In America, unfortunately, it's the system doesn't really promote that. And I know Filipinos really, really work hard, because if you don't, you're not going to get a good grade. In the US, we kind of give people too many breaks, and they don't work as hard as they used to. Like when I was a kid, I think, and I'm an older guy, I'm 50, but it's not one of these things where we say, when I was a kid, there's NBM, he's funny. I think, back in the 80s and 90s, I think American schools were really hardworking. But now, I think the American schools, I think they mean well, but, you can't really grade people very hard in the US. It's just the way the system is now. And so the students, in my opinion, don't really work as hard as Filipino students or Asian students in general, where you really have to work hard. But the Filipino students, they come in, and what happens to a lot of Filipinos, and my wife too, and her English is very good, but when they come to America for the first time, and just like NBM was saying, speak slowly, the speed is so fast. And that's for anybody with that comes to a new place. I know you are, NBM. I know you're joking. I know you are. But I'm just saying, like, when anyone comes to the U.S. for the first time, just like if I had learned Tagalog and I came to the Philippines, it's the speed. The speed of the language is so fast. The speed is so fast that you're like this. Whoa. It takes time. And so I had many students, it would take them a few months, maybe 5 months, to really get used to the speed. But the one thing that really throws even my wife and a lot of Filipinos when they come to America, and maybe you guys know from watching movies and stuff, is the slang. America has so much slang, so many slang words and ways of saying things that, you could never learn in school. And that really throws especially my wife off. I said something the other day and she was like, huh, what? Huh? And she's been in the US for 10 years. There's no way you can know every slang word. Or like I said, we call this a cup of joe. We call coffee a cup of joe. Now, why we call it a cup of joe, I don't even know why. But can you imagine if you were a Filipino and you were in a restaurant and the waitress said, "Would you like a cup of Joe?" And you're like, "Joe? Joe who? Where's the cup of Joe?" And you're like, "I don't know." So I mean, you could, slang is just so difficult, when you try to learn those things. It's very, very difficult. So, but it's so hard. So, I mean, but I'm so impressed with the Filipinos, when they come over and the English that they speak, and even my wife's relatives. Hey, it's Hal Heilman under a different name. Christian. Hi, Christian. How are you? So, like, all these different things. Her relatives, when I met them at Christmas and everything, they don't speak English very often, and the adults especially, and they were picking up the conversation and they were talking, and they didn't, they did great, and they probably haven't spoken English in years. They're speaking Taglish, they don't, and they picked it up 1, 2, 3, and they don't have a problem. And for the students, for the younger relatives, for the younger students, I mean, their English was really good. In their 20s, we have someone that works at a call center and all this other. Their English is very good. And so, I mean, I think that's really my nose is bleeding. you know, especially, a lot of Filipinos are working in call centers. And I'm going to be honest with you. When you call up, you can tell if you're speaking to a Filipino or someone from India or someone from, especially they have Indian call centers. But, in my opinion, the Indians, their English is not as good as the Filipinos. It just isn't, It just isn't. I think two is going to be waterfalls. So I think the Filipinos just do a really, really wonderful job, and they make you feel at home. And and remember, the British were in India for a couple hundred years, but yet the Filipinos, the Americans were only here for what, 50 years maybe, but they picked up English much better to me than the Indians. My blood is coming out of my body, you guys. And that's the other thing too. That's really, really funny, is that Filipinos understand American humor most of the time. They understand American humor. If you did that with other countries, even in Europe, and well, the Europeans, they get it most of the time. But in Asia, I would say the Filipinos are the closest that understand American humor. They laugh, they know how to interact, they know how to laugh back at you and smile and things like that. It's, I would say, specifically other cultures like the Chinese, the Japanese, the Koreans, they don't really get American jokes or American humor. The Filipinos, and that's what really brings Americans, to the Philippines. And there was a guy, I'm not going to say who he was or anything like that, but he's living here now in the Philippines, and he was complaining about the you're on the way to the hospital. They got a special nosebleed hospital. But yeah, I was listening to this guy, and I love the guy. He has a great channel. I really love him. But he was saying, "Oh, I don't like the Filipino roads. I don't like the Philippine hospitals. I don't like this. I'm going to move to a different part of Asia." And the Philippines was colonized by Spain and by America. But he was saying all these things, and I'm sitting and I'm like, that's fine. You don't have to love the Philippines or whatever. He wants to go to another place. And I'm like, but you know what? You're going to miss the people, and you're going to miss how they are, and you're just not going to get that in another country. You're just not going to get it in other places in Asia, no matter where you go, But Englishing me. Japan is coming. But you can see everybody is coming to the Philippines to learn English. The Japanese are coming, the Vietnamese, the Chinese. They're all coming to the Philippines to learn English. And so I mean, I know, so this guy, I don't know what's going to happen or whatever, but they're not going to get the same understanding or feeling if they go to another Asian country. They're just not going to get it, So, I wish him luck wherever he goes, and, I hope he's okay, but they're just not going to feel the same thing. And you get a lot of other people that are saying that in the comments. Soon the World War III started. We hope we don't start World War III. Is the nosebleed going to start World War III? I mean, I'll be honest with you. Where else could I be speaking English to any other country in the world, in Asia, where they understand what I'm saying and they're joking and laughing with what I'm saying? You wouldn't be able to get it. It just isn't going to happen. It just isn't going to happen. And I even work with a lot of Filipinos in the U.S. too, and their English was great as well. It's just amazing. It really, really is. I know you guys joke around and stuff, but your English is pretty good, believe me. And even when some Filipinos or English isn't that great, it's better than what Americans can speak Tagalog or something else. You know, Americans are very, very, because I'm so, because you know, Americans, we don't speak any foreign languages. Like I said, I took German, I took French. I can't really speak those languages at all, to be honest with you. I mean, most Filipinos, if they had to speak English, they could do it, and they could, you know, they could get around, they could do things and say things, and Americans can't do that. No way. It just isn't going to happen. But and I forgot about the Chinese trying to learn English as well, you know, and I know a lot of Filipinos are making money teaching English to the online to the Chinese, you know, and they're making good money doing it. You know, I may even try to do it pretty soon, you know, make some extra cash or something like that. But my brain is still sleeping. You know, you guys are really good because, you know, I don't even know how you guys text on phones. You know, you're like this. You guys are like pro champions. I can't text on my phone. You know, I see kids, you know, younger people text, and they're just like, especially, let me ask you guys this. Is texting harder in English or in Tagalog? What is it? Which way is texting harder, English or Tagalog? Which way is tougher? I'm thinking Tagalog because the words are longer. You guys are eating out there and listening to me. Well, have a cup of Joe, everybody. Have a cup of coffee. But I don't know. I would think Tagalog may be a little tougher. Yeah, I would think so because the words are really long. And when I look at some of those words, I mean, in the pronunciation, I'm just like, I'm like, you want to talk about a nosebleed? If I tried to speak Tagalog, you would see my nose bleeding forever. It would just nonstop. I would pass out. You know, my wife, especially my wife, does some of those Filipino tongue twisters and things. I'd be like, ah. So, I mean, if I were you guys, I wouldn't even worry about, you know, worry about having a nosebleed. Your English is pretty good. I mean, it really, really is. It's, you know, the Filipino teachers and parents really do a great job, you know, doing it. They really, really do. And my congratulations and my, you know, every support to them and to you, you know, learning it. It's just unbelievable, you know. It really, and I don't think the Filipinos get enough credit for it. I really, really don't. I really, really don't. So you know, I made a couple videos about that. You know, and that's the other thing about the Filipinos, you know, which is so great, and you know, is how polite Filipinos are. And you know, when I was, one of the reasons I stopped teaching in America was really how rude the students were, and so, I mean, so disrespectful. I mean, so rude and disrespectful. It's really disgusting. And so, I mean, one of the things I love about the Philippines is, you know, most of the time people are very, very polite, and you know, and that really means a lot to me. It really does. You know, when I left America, I would walk in the airports and stuff, and people were just so rude. I mean, not. I mean, I don't mean just a little rude. I mean, just like very rude to each other, and it's really, really sad. You know. So that's the other thing about the Filipinos. They're so polite and so respectful. You know, like 99% of the time. You know. Now, the one thing that's, you know, that's kind of interesting though. The Americans do one thing better. That's they know how to get in line. I know Filipinos are not really good with getting in line. You know, that's really, really funny when Filipinos have to get in line. I know in schools you're very good at getting in line, but in other places the lines aren't too good. And it drives Americans crazy. They go, Filipinos can't know how to do a line. When you're in crowds, get into a line, understand your. So I saw some Americans complaining about that. But if that's the worst thing, you can't get into a line. But I remember at the airport when they open the door or something, all the Filipinos run as a group. No one really lines up. And I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I'm like, here, go ahead. Go ahead, do what you got to do. I can wait. It doesn't matter to me, But it doesn't. That's to me, that's a very minor thing. But I love the Philippines. I love how you speak English. I love how respectful you are. It really, it's really meant a lot to me since I moved here. And I do have to learn some Tagalog, Yeah, Christian, right now, since you guys are tuning in, America is so huge, the Philippines is a very big place, you have lots of islands and water and stuff like that. But as far as a landmass, as far as like a country and land, the U.S. has so much weather differences, excuse me. So like if you're talking about the eastern part of the U.S., this is where I was born, it is cold. Okay. It got cold in December, like November, and it's below freezing, much below freezing. I would say maybe it's 30 Celsius in the East Coast right now, 25, 30 Celsius, something like that. His heart's going to go. So it's very cold on the East Coast. Now, in the middle of the country that we call the Midwest, it might even be like 40 below, 50 below centigrade, negative 50 centigrade. It is so cold in the Midwest. Now, in the South, like you guys have heard, I'm sure you've heard of Miami Beach, Florida. It's 70. It's very warm. It's very warm in Florida. Florida is almost like the Philippines. Very hot, very muggy, tropical climate. It's probably like I don't know, 50 Celsius or 60, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to look. I mean, I know I'm probably getting this wrong, but it's 70 Fahrenheit. So if it's 0 is freezing, I would say it's like 50 Celsius right now, maybe. I hope I'm not making a mistake on that. But anyway, it's warm in Florida right now. Well, the rest of the country is cold. And then California, there's lots of Filipinos in California, LA, and places like that. It's probably 20 Celsius, 30 Celsius, something like that. And it'll get hotter as you move into April, May, and June. But the summer in the U.S. is June, July, August are the hottest months in the U.S. Now, I lived in Arizona, and man, it's 120 Fahrenheit, man. I don't even know let me just tell you what that is. You guys would be amazed. How much, I'm just Googling this, is 130 Fahrenheit in, let's just take 10 off of that. Oh, no, yeah, see, I did that too hot for Florida. It's more like 20 Celsius in Florida. But in Arizona, maybe 10, something like that. But in Arizona, it is, in the summer, it is 54 Celsius. It is 54 Celsius. In Florida, I made a mistake. Maybe it's 10, 20 Celsius. No, maybe 20 Celsius. But in Arizona, it's 50 Celsius. It is hot. I mean, in Arizona, you can fry an egg in a frying pan. That's how hot it is in the summer. And I know the Philippines is hot, but it's not that hot, okay? I mean, you bake. I mean, your brain will fry out there. That's how hot it is. So, but Arizona is pretty cold now too. So Most of the U.S. is very cold. Alaska, yeah, that's like, who the heck knows how cold it is in Alaska? I don't even know. Like it's minus 50 or like 60 or something. But deodorant brand Arizona, man. I had to move out. I couldn't take it, man. It is just so hot. I mean, it is unbearable. It's so much worse than the Philippines or even Hawaii or something like that. Yeah, Alaska is very cold. I've never been there. Some people live there all year around, and some people don't. But it's the other part about Alaska. I don't know if you guys know that it's dark. It's black in the winter. There's no sunlight because it's so high up on the globe. It's dark and cold, and some people move out there and they get a lot of money for living there. They get like a subsidy to live there, but it is really cold in Alaska. I might, in the summer it's really beautiful. Nose is going in Alaska in the summer it's beautiful. You got bears and moose and stuff like that. Here's a solution. What? Go to Baguio? Go up to Baguio City? Oh, there's someone. There's Flat Earth Alaska. Yeah, Alaska is a beautiful state. It's a beautiful state, but it is so dark and cold. It is so dark and cold. But I know that my parents. I never had the chance. I wish I did. It's one of America's great states. One of the great places to visit. With all the wildlife and I'd love to go there and try to go for salmon up in Alaska. But I just never had. My parents love Alaska. They love Alaska. They went on a cruise in the summer, but I never had the chance to go. I don't know if you guys know this. There's a lot of Hawaiians that live in Alaska. Oh, the moonlight makes it better. I know there's a lot of Hawaiians that move to Alaska, which is really strange. I know a lot of people from Alaska that like to move to Hawaii. It's really a bizarre thing. I mean, I can understand why you want to move to Hawaii, but if you're Hawaiian, I don't know why you'd want to move to Alaska. I had a student that wanted to go to school in Alaska. And I'm not trying to put Alaska down. I know there's a lot of sourdoughs, right? That's what they call people that live there year round, sourdoughs. And that's fine. But I mean, I couldn't handle Alaska. So God bless you. If you can handle the cold in Alaska, man, you're something special. I watch those shows about the people living up there, man. It's rough. It's kind of rough, But just get a refrigerator and freeze. What's really amazing to me, everybody, is when you see the Filipino guards, the traffic guards wearing full length shirts, full sleeve shirts in the summer. I don't know how they don't pass out. I mean, when I see that, I'm like, how do those guys not pass out? They're wearing the full uniform and the hat and the sleeves. I'm like, whoa. I'll see you later, NBM. See you next time. And please subscribe, everybody. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Please subscribe. You're so welcome. You guys made me laugh too. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. So, we're trying to get up to that magic 1,000 number there so we can start making a little bit of money. So if you can subscribe, that would be really great. Okay. But yeah, I never had a chance to make it to Alaska. I always wanted to, go for the salmon. That's really what I wanted to do. Thank you, NBM. Thank you so much. And thank you for everyone else. If you haven't subscribed, and you are, and if you haven't, please do so. Please. But I know that I was seeing those guards out there, the traffic people or whatever. Thank you so much, NBM. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Right. Salamat. I know salamat, right? Salamat po. Salamat po. Don't worry, I'll pick up some I'll pick up some more stuff as time goes on. I've only been here for 2 months. So salamat. Yeah, I got this in New York City, and I thought I'd use this as my little trademark for my channel. This is supposed to be like my Indiana Jones hat, This is supposed to be my Indiana Jones kind of thing going like that. And so that's why and hey, I paid a lot of money for this hat too, so I want to get my use out of it. But I'm kind of balding too, so I know I'm going bald. I know, like, if I go out in the sun here, I'm going to need a hat as well. So it's kind of a practical thing. Can I cook noodles in the hat? I don't know. Let's see here. What do you think? I don't know. Maybe. I got a few holes in there. I don't know. My water might be coming out. So so well, actually, I don't know if you guys know this, but American cowboys, they used to use their hats for their animals. They would, dip it in water and dump it on their head, or for animals, they'd go in the stream and fill up their hat and let the animals drink water out of it. And that's why, if you look at big American cowboy hats, they call them 10-gallon hats. And I guess that was for, getting water and stuff like that on the farm and everything like that. Because you guys are making me laugh. You're making me happy. Filipinos make people happy. That's what, it's part of their culture. And you guys have really made me happy. You're making me laugh. So I'm having a great night so far. Hide in my hat. You're probably good. And actually, these hats are not really getting, this is not that big, but it's getting, cowboy hats are not as popular in the U.S. as they used to be. Down south, they are. If you go into Texas or something, you don't wear a cowboy hat, they don't think you're local, you're from that area, from that province. But, like like when I was a kid growing up, we all had cowboy hats. As kids, to play cowboys and Indians, but nowadays they don't even sell them. I mean, my parents, I think they still, maybe they do. They still have my original black cowboy hat. Hold on, everybody. I got to plug in here. I got to find my power cord. I got to get my power cord here. Sorry, everybody. I have to plug in. I'm losing. There we go. There we go. Oh, you started YouTube on January 4th. That's great. Yeah, I had to get plugged in there. I'm kind of losing my power there. But yeah. I mean, that's great. You started your own channel on January 4th. That's awesome. I never, my wife said I should start a channel, so we're doing it. But it's, it's a great way to meet people, and it's a great way to make some money too. If you keep growing your channel, you can make some money. So, I mean, but you also meet good people, and you're actually entertaining people too. And it's a good way, if you're careful, like there's some, you have to be careful of everybody, on the internet and things. But if you're careful and things like that, YouTube is a great way. I was trying to get one of my cousins out here. He's a skateboarder. He's a painter. And I said, dude, let's start a channel for you. He's a Filipino kid down in Laguna, and he won't start the channel. I said, man, a lot of people would love to see you. So part of me, Christian, I have to start my Facebook for this channel. And I've been delaying that because it's been just enough for me to do the videos. I'm filming and editing. This is all new to me, so I'm learning how to do that. But I have to do a Facebook. I have to put up a Facebook and Instagram. And it's just, moving here and there's, I have to just do it, I just haven't had the time since I moved here. A lot of stuff going on with moving and everything, but I have to do a Facebook. I really do. And do an Instagram too. And I have to get those up in a couple of weeks, minimum. I got to do that. So I'll be posting that channel the Facebook page and the Instagram page very soon, because you can't grow your channel without doing that. So I'm going to have to pretty soon. And the guy last night, do I have a donate button? I have to get a Patreon button too. No. So Christian, I have to put one up. I don't have one yet. I don't even have a personal one on Facebook, yet, but I'm going to put up a Facebook for the channel. I'm going to put that up like in a week or so. I'll have to put it up. Can I have Jawa there? What's that? Is that coffee or something? What is Jowo? Let's see. What is that? Oh, can you meet my significant other? Oh, can you meet a girlfriend there? Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. I guess if you go into the chat window or something, I guess you can meet anybody on Facebook or whatever, But so now there I learned another Tagalog word, Jowa. Joe, how do you say that? Jowa? So there you go. So I'll learn these things as time goes on and learn my Taglish, right? And so I'll make the Facebook. Yeah, I better look into that tomorrow so I can broadcast that tomorrow and do that kind of thing. Yi Jo Ah. Yi Jo Ah. Yi Jo Ah. Yi Jo Ah. Is that how you say it? Yi Jo Ah. I know my accent is probably terrible. I have really bad accents with languages. Joa. Joa. My son and my wife are well, she's good at English. My son is really good though. He's learning Tagalog, but I'm terrible. I don't have any I'm having a nosebleed too. I'm learning the new words. But Joa. So yeah, we'll get these channels started and get some pictures going and get all that good stuff happening. But I have to do that. Oh, don't put some ye, just long Juwa. Is it Juva? Let me ask my wife. I'll be right back. Hold it. How do I say that? Joa. 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 She told me it's Joa. Just like you said, Christian. Joa. There we go. There's my nosebleed. Oh yeah, my wife's Filipina. Yeah, you have to watch some of the videos, NBM. Yeah, my wife is from San Juan, Manila. Yeah. She's from San Juan, Manila. We got married, what is it, 12 years ago. Yeah, and my son is Phil-Am, American Filipino. Yeah. So we just moved here November 18th. No, she doesn't. This is like our family YouTube account. But if this account goes well, we'll have to make one for her or my son or whatever. If people want it, we can do it. But yeah, I mean, she's kind of shy. Maybe we can convince her to do a channel. Right now, I'm having her, video and stuff like that. So we'll see. Thank you, NBM. Regards to your family too. Hello to them too. So yeah, I mean, we're just kind of getting started. Yeah, she's watching me right now in the other room on her phone, watching the live cast. So we have to convince her to come to a live cast for you guys. She did one live cast, I think, for New Year's, right? She was on the New Year's live cast. She came out. So we have to convince her to come out here and do some live casts. Oh no, don't do that. Don't get shy because of your English. Your English is fine, believe me. And the more you do it, the better you get, So that's really one of those things. But it's hard, you feel self-conscious and shy about it. Why is she not going in the comment? She made a comment earlier saying she had already subscribed. But yeah, she should be in the comments. She should be putting stuff. That's a really good point, Christian. No, that's a really good point. We should have her making comments down there while she's doing it. No, really, that's a really good point, and that's actually a good idea, really, Christian. Very good idea. So yeah, we should have her do that and come out here and do a live cast too. There she is. She made a post there. There she is, right there. She exists. She's right in the other room. So there she is. She's listening in. So she's out there cooking, I think, or doing something in the kitchen. But we want her in front of the camera. We want to get her in front of the camera. You talking about me? Yeah, we're trying to get you on camera here. We're trying to get you. They say you should have your own channel, and you should come in front of the camera and say hi. Oh no, NBM, your English is fine. Don't worry about it. You're doing fine. And that, and YouTube and Facebook are a great way to practice English, and learn English. As long as you don't get too caught up in the slang, it's a great way. Your English is fine. Don't worry about it. Oh, she's too busy cooking. Excuses. We're gonna have to get her tomorrow. Maybe we can get her in front of the camera. We can do some prank or something and get her in front of the camera. My brain is getting out now. We'll get her going to speak to you guys because yeah, sure, no problem, Christian. I mean, it's the best way to learn it, And you got your English is fine anyway. It's just improving just the little things, the little bits, Like I tell my wife, English is easy to learn but hard to get perfect because of all the how should I say that, idioms like over and under and on and in. And that, like with a lot of Filipinos, including my wife, on and in are a big problem. You know, that's kind of a big deal. But I mean, who cares? I mean, if people understand what you're saying, it doesn't make a difference, you know. Now, if you're doing it for a paper or something, yeah. But I mean, if you're just trying to communicate, it really doesn't make it that big of a deal. It doesn't really matter, you know. It's just if you can get your words across, and you can. Everyone understands what you're saying, so it's fine, you know. You know, if you're doing academic, you know, a school paper, yeah, it's a little different, you know. But if you're just talking or making a joke or whatever, but your guys' English is great. You guys can make jokes about it. You can communicate about it. You know, that's a pretty high level, actually, because you guys have been learning English for a long time. When do you guys start learning English? Like 6 or 7 years old? I mean, you guys really know English well. You know, you really do. It's just the little things, and everybody has problems with them, you know. Okay. So no, don't worry about that, you know. Don't worry about that. You know, and maybe I can help with, you know, you can teach me some Tagalog, I can teach you guys some English, right? It goes back and forth, you know. Oh, what is that? That's it's a Spanish word. I know it's a Spanish word. Um oh geez. Let me see. Guapo. You're guapo, right? All right. So I know that. His MBM's vlog. Oh, you guys are pretty funny. But I know guapo. I know that one. So I know a few words, and I don't know that many. I know just a few, you know. I know adobo. I know when I get hungry, they ask for adobo. Or pancit, right? So, in any event, we're almost been on an hour, so I'm just going to stay on a few more minutes. Yeah. See you, NBM. Hope to see you soon. You know, I'm going to get off here in about 2 minutes anyway. I got to try to work on. Oh, no. You didn't bother me at all. Just get that nosebleed fixed. You'll be fine. Okay. And I'll work on my Tagalog nosebleed, you know. You know, I have to work on pronouncing those names too. But God bless you too, NBM. You have a great night. God bless. Have a great day tomorrow. And yeah, so we just have a few minutes left. You know, if you if you can help people subscribe to our channel, tell everyone about our channel. And if they like it, they can subscribe. We hope they do like it and subscribe. So please, you know, tell all your friends and family about our channel and subscribe. You know, everyone out there, we're trying to get to that 1,000 subscription mark, you know, so we can just make a little bit of money on our YouTubes and stuff like that. But, you know, please tell everyone about us. You know, we're new. So you'll be one of our founding members, one of our few members, you know, that we remember and remember forever, because you're one of our first group. But please tell everybody about us, you know, and if you enjoy us, you know, please pass on the good word about us. It looks like we're coming down to that hour mark. I'd like to stay on, but I gotta try and edit a video and get it up, even though I'd rather stay here and laugh. You guys have been great. You guys really made me laugh. This is better than watching Eat Bulaga. Hey, another Tagalog show. You know, you guys are funnier than Eat Bulaga. That's all I got to say. And wow, all right. So you guys have a great night out there. We're heading down to about 20-30 seconds left. You guys have been a blast. You've been so much fun to hang out with. And we'll be on the air tomorrow. Unless, I mean, I'll be on unless I get, you know, something happens, but, you know, I get sick or get, you know, delayed or something. But I'll be on probably 9 o'clock or 8:39 or 9, with something around between, you know, 8 and 9:30 tomorrow. So I hope I see you guys again. And please tell everyone, please advertise about us and have them subscribe. We'd love it if you can. And have a great night. And remember, always have your cup of joe. Always have your cup of coffee. Caffeine attack. I'll see you guys later. Have a great night, everybody. God bless you. Take care and be well. Bye-bye, everyone. See you later. Bye-bye.